Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's event where we will be talking about Oculo and how it's transforming the project management and other utilities within the construction industry. Today, I have Michael Moran, who is the business development consultant for Oculo. And Michael will be presenting and going through the features and added benefits of using Oculo within the industry. Just to explain about our partnership with Oculo, we've investigated the market and found that there was a gap where we needed to get more site activity, site capturing, and have more of a less carbon footprint on the industry. We see that workforce is becoming limited, so utilizing technology to focus on that is key. We look at trying to doing as-built captures, looking at comparing what is between the model and what is actually on site. And we also want to see how that can be reported. And with the benefit of Oculo interacting and engaging with the Autodesk Construction Cloud is another massive benefit of this partnership. So what I'll do now is I'll pass you on to Michael, who'll do an overview of Oculo and do a live demo.
Thank you very much, Sean. Just checking you can hear me okay.
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
And you can see my screen?
Yep. I'll stop sharing there now. Thank you.
Great. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Sean. And thank you to you and your colleagues at Symetri for giving us this opportunity to present Oculo today. Looking forward to doing this presentation and having the discussion in the Q&A. So my name is Michael Moran. I'm Sales and Business Development Manager at Oculo, and my background is in digital construction, and I'm just going to jump straight in today to a little presentation, and then we'll see a live demonstration of Oculo and finish by talking about some of the benefits that our customers see today and how they're using it on projects. So let's start with the problem, which for anyone who's worked in construction and on a construction site knows, capturing photos on site, it's an important job, but it's quite slow, it's manual, and it leaves a lot of important gaps. All of these photos that are taken one by one have to be organized in a way that can be quite manual and arduous. You have to organize them in folders. It's easy to make errors. It's easy to lose information. And then after the project, when you're looking for a photo that you need to prove that something was done at a particular time, it's often the case that the one photo that you're looking for is the one that you actually can't find. So this creates a lot of headaches, and this is the problem that Oculo was created in order to solve. So what is Oculo? It's a very, very simple solution that allows you to capture 100% of your site visually. And as a result of that, do all sorts of things in terms of analyzing progress, comparing to models, comparing past scenes with the current, and really getting an up-to-date, accurate view of what's happening on your construction site at any particular time. There's 3 steps to the process. As I said, very simple. Step 1 is you take a 360 camera, mount it to a helmet or on the end of a selfie stick, and press record. Start the video, walk the site as you would normally when doing an inspection. So you can walk on all levels, all floors, all areas. With a single recording, you capture the entire site. You upload that video recording into Oculo, and we do the rest. So we're using AI to process the video recording in full 3D coordinates and map that against your floor plans or your models, and we recreate the walk in 3D. So essentially like a Google Street View for your construction site for every day that you walk. The result is that full 360 coverage that allows you to really easily pull up a floor plan and jump into a view of any area at any given time. One thing to emphasize that Oculo is 100% passive from the end user's point of view. So really all that you need to do is pull up a floor plan, drop a pin where you're starting your walk, press record, and you can literally walk the site for the next 2 hours without ever touching the app again. So you don't need to set up targets on site. You don't need to be trained in any sort of surveying techniques. Anyone can do this as long as they can press a few buttons on a mobile app and walk around the site. And this is one of the keys to implementing, because anyone with experience implementing applications for construction knows simplicity is really important, and people are already busy. People are probably already struggling with various applications on site, and we don't want to add extra complication to that process. Another thing to emphasize is you don't need to stop the recording on different levels. So if you have a 50-story building, and we actually are working on a few of those, you can capture the entire project with a single recording, walking up and down floors, walking onto scaffolding, really walking the entire site without interrupting the video. The result of that is that we do capture 100% of where you walk on site. There are other reality capture systems that involve setting up a camera or a tripod or a scanner at various points and then registering where you were at that time. With Oculo, that goes away, and you have step-by-step for every level and every area of the project, a complete reconstruction of where you were. And the results of this are, and we'll go into this in a little bit more detail after we take a look at a live demonstration, but the results are that you have a full visual history of your entire building, complete 360 photo evidence, no gaps in that, so you don't need to take hundreds of manual photos and then tag them by location, but instead you really have this comprehensive view of everything that was seen on site in the day that you walk. You have the ability, if you're using 3D models on projects, to compare those against the as-built reality situation. We'll see how that looks in a moment. And the result of this is saving a lot of time, costs, headaches, and reducing risk on projects. So having that accurate view means that you can accurately defend your company in the case of disputes, or even if it goes to court in the case of claims. If there's variations or change orders, you can very, very easily what was happening at any given time. You have a very objective view of progress, which means that for valuations, for example, payments to subcontractors or proving that work was done at a particular time, there's no discussion anymore. You can just go and see exactly what was installed at a particular date. And it also means that you can save on travel time, either from the site office to the site, and on a large site that can be a significant amount of time, or even in the case of some consultants who are remotely located, or members of staff who are in a different city or even country, they can log in and see the latest information on site just by accessing a browser and seeing the latest Oculo scans. Good. Okay, so with all of that said, let us jump into a demonstration. So this is a landing page for a sample project in Oculo. What I see here is a floor plan view of a project, and then each of these dots here represent a step on the latest date that was captured. So each of these yellow dots represents where the person who did the capture walked. They walked outside the building, they walked inside the building, they walked on multiple levels, and I can go into any of these locations and immediately get a full 360 Google Street View style capture of the project on that day. I can easily navigate around. I can navigate around on the little mini map here. You'll notice that anytime we recognize a person, a human figure in these scans, they're automatically blurred for privacy protection. And it's a very easy navigation and viewing process. So in addition to being very easy to do these captures out on site using the camera, it's also easy for anyone back in the office to use. There's no extra special training that's needed in order to use Oculo. As we mentioned, we have the ability to automatically locate all of these 360 scenes on a plan. What that means is that we can also automatically compare to any previous scenes that were captured at previous dates on the project. So I have this full timeline showing me exactly what was happening at the project at any of these given times. So on a typical project, this might be weekly or a couple times a week, and I can peel back these layers and see exactly the status of the work that was being done at this location at that time, and it's going to move in and keep me locked on that position. So I can look behind walls, I can verify what work was done, and you very easily see conditions at that time. Okay. As mentioned, we don't require a 3D model in order to use Oculo, but if you do have a 3D model, then you have the ability to also compare all of these positions in your 360 as-built view against the latest design model. So we embed the Autodesk viewer here, and what that allows us to do is very, very easily compare the as-built reality versus the design. And many people say that this is the easiest way to give the full team access to the latest model information. You'll see that it moves and updates as I move through the space in 3D or in 360. And then because this is the Autodesk viewer, I can select objects here. I can choose to view their properties. I can federate together multiple models in here. And this is going to also allow me to hide certain discipline models if I want to. So for example, if I want to turn off the architecture model, hide walls, look behind walls and see only the installations in the structure, then I can do that very easily. Okay, a couple other things that we can look at here. So as we are walking around doing the scan, as we mentioned, everything is 100% passive. So everything is being recorded automatically and being mapped against the correct location as I go through in the 360 space. But if I need to take a detailed photo of something or create a note when I'm out on site, so this might be documenting an issue, health and safety issue, quality issue, some defects or snags, but it might also be when I need to take a high resolution photo of a certificate or something out on site. I can complement the 360 capture by pulling out my phone. So he's actually taken out his phone here. It's blurred because it's recognizing that it's part of his arm. Take a high resolution photo that automatically gets pinned on the 360 scan. It's also shown here in blue on the plan. And this will be located, and I can then see this high resolution photo here. And this can be tracked as an issue. These issues can be kept in Oculo and managed in Oculo, but if you are using Autodesk Construction Cloud, ACC, or the older version of BIM 360, we can push all of these issues directly into ACC as well. And then fill out any of the properties, including the status, who this issue needs to be assigned to, things like due date, root causes, and any other custom properties that you want. And you'll see that there's then always a link back to ACC here. The other way that I can create issues would be if I'm looking at a scan of a previous date and I notice that there is something that needs to be brought to someone's attention or documented here, I can screenshot an area. This screenshotted photo will be attached to the issue. I can then fill out the details here, fill out a description. Give it a status, and then the type. And as soon as I create this issue, it's going to be pushed into my project in ACC and managed there. So you don't need to use ACC in order to use Oculo, but if you do already use the Autodesk Construction Cloud, then we have this nice integration with it. And the result is that if I then go into a project in ACC. So I'll open it up here. If I go into a project in ACC, I can see all of those issues that are created in Oculo back here. So this is the one that we just created. It's got the photo attached here. And as I update any information like the status or who this has been assigned to or add notes to it, all of that will be reflected back in Oculo as well. And the last thing that I should say about this integration is that we also have a full integration with the single sign-on in ACC, in Autodesk. So you can also manage user permissions via the ACC integration to give people access to Oculo. Good. Okay, so just a little bit more, having seen that demonstration about the benefits of Oculo and how those can translate into real cost and time savings. So as a result of having that full visual history, if you ever needed to do investigative work, if there was ever a claim or a warranty defect on a project, you're able to really document everything that was installed and go back and identify issues without having to remove walls, without having to open up areas that were already closed. And one of the results of this is far lower rework costs in the event of claims. Have this ability to do 360 capture of the comprehensive site evidence means that you can be much more efficient in documenting site conditions. So whoever's job it is to go out and document the site conditions can just walk the site rather than having to stop and take manual photos and then report on those. This can be up to 10 times faster to capture these records. The fact that we can use the model comparison means that it's very easy to coordinate future works and activities between trades and subcontractors out on site, particularly if there's complex technical installations. It's also very easy to visually identify deviations out on site. And we also have a new feature that allows you to overlay the model and the reality and then verify very easily, are the openings in the right place for the MEP penetrations. One big area of savings is in claims and variations, change orders, and any sort of disputes between parties, either contractor with the client or with subcontractors. And many of our clients have found that they've been able to refute thousands, even hundreds of thousands of pounds or euros using Oculo that otherwise may have been lost in a claim or dispute situation, because everything is accurately documented and they can go back and see exactly what was happening at any given time. QSs and commercial teams also find that using Oculo means that they have a much more objective valuation process. They can improve cash flow. They can verify, yes, this was installed, no, this wasn't installed, or this was only installed at 50% at the time that you said. So they can use this to make more accurate valuations and payments. And then the fact that you have this virtually documented site means that either for remote meetings where you get the full team or members of the team access to the site to be able to make informed decisions, or for regular site meetings when you're in the office coordinating between subcontractors, you just have much more accurate visual information and you're able to do better coordination and avoid issues and problems out on site as a result of not having the right information. This is another very important benefit. All of these claims or all of these testimonials and stories have been documented in a number of case studies that we have that we'd be happy to share with you after this webinar. And I think at that stage, that's everything that I wanted to talk to you about today. in my prepared remarks and presentation. So I think I can hand it back to you, Sean. And
is there something you could show there as well, Michael, about like reporting on it? Like the reports are pretty in depth as well. That you'll have the photograph, an idea, even though it's independent of the ACC, you can run reports as well seamlessly on this.
yes, you can. So here's an example of that report. Yeah, thank you, Sean. So we've got this list of issues here, which I can filter and sort, and I see that some of these have been pushed into ACC if they have this little logo here. Some of them are just Oculo issues, and yeah, so I can filter this out by status to say open things on a particular, captured on a particular date, and of a particular type. And once I set those filters, I can generate this report, and it's going to show me a floor plan view, and it's going to show me all of those issues and
they're all hyperlinked with the floor plan view as well. So if you select the floor plan at home level, it brings you to the issue, and again, which is shown here, if you pick it, it brings you to it in Oculo.
Exactly, yeah. So it makes for a very easy reporting process, and you can share that out with the extended team.
Like this is something that would be very beneficial for dilapidation surveys if people have a site that they need to walk around to check for any defects, any cracks, that they take a photograph that's recorded. It'd be also good for O&M if people wanted to have operational maintenance documentation. They could go around with this, run a report. It's stored in the Oculo interface, but you have a nice PDF presentation that will document everything down to certificates. Even you could link to other areas of scheduled maintenance reports as well. Just kind of a nice seamless approach.
I've shown you today the basics of Oculo as it's used today and over the past years as we've developed it. Of course, we're a growing company. We have quite an ambitious product development roadmap. And I can show you right now something that's in preview.
Yes.
So you can see this dashboard here. Oops. You see the dashboard here? Yeah. So this is showing you something that we're working on, which shows you the frequency of capture over time, breaking it in this case down to months on the project and showing you how many captures are being done for each level on this 5-story project in each of these months. And so it shows you that the green is when there were 5 to 9 captures being done. So that's the time when there was the most. So in November, the most scans were being done. Yellow is when there were 3 scans done. Orange is when there were 2. Red is when there was 1. So it's giving you some indication of, well, maybe you didn't have as much coverage as you should have had in that particular area on that particular date. But maybe there's a good reason for that. But it shows you just very quickly how much is being captured. And as I said, this is in preview mode, but eventually we want to also have this kind of dashboard, and very soon we will have this kind of dashboard at a cross-project portfolio level to show you what's being captured on all of the projects within a company, for example.
So if anyone has any questions, send them on to info@symetri.ie, and we'll also share an element of the presentation too as well in PDF. So thanks very much to everyone, and hope you have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Michael.